Those are not my notes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So have you thought about how much food is wasted in the world? Globally, 1.3 billion tons of food are being wasted each year. This is perfectly good for human consumption. And it's wasted at the farms, at the processing plants, in transportation, in the big store chains' warehouses, and in the stores, and ultimately at your home as well. This is a big challenge for us all to tackle. The world population is growing at an alarming rate, and our consume is also going up. The Western way of wasteful overconsumption is being spread far and wide and is causing an enormous spread on the environment in which we all cohabit. 100 years ago, we were 1 billion people. Now we are 7 billion. 100 years ago, a cow produced 1,000 liters of milk. Now a cow, because of imported high-quality soybeans from what used to be a rainforest in Brazil, a cow can now produce 7,100 liters of milk each year. 100 years ago, you had pigs living for an average of 3 years before they were slaughtered, often living in the homes of people, and people were sad when they killed them. Now, they live for 6 months. And they, even though they have this short lifespan, they get to grow to 75 to 100 kilos. It's insane. And they also live in total darkness and with no toys or anything. So 100 years ago, you could have the farmers were taking care of their land so it was fertile for future generations and future crops. Now many farmers are forced by the economic system into intensifying their production at the cost of risking the land to go barren. 1 billion people are starving as we are throwing the biggest and most wasteful overconsumption party the world has ever seen, destroying habitats of other species, the rainforest. Okay, so over to my story. In 2009, a friend from an animal rights organization suddenly came to my door with 2 giant bags of tomatoes. And they were really tasty and awesome. And she said, "Don't ask where they came from." But I asked. I discovered a whole new world. It was a magical fantasy world where food is free and stores are evil food prison who from time to time execute them, 1/3 of their food, and dispose of them in giant metal containers outside their stores, sometimes even with locks. But at the same time, I was introduced to the concept of not having to pay for all the food, because the food chains have deemed this food to be too ugly to be eaten. Many times we consumers also are guilty of food waste. We think that the expiry date on the product or the brown spot on this banana or veggie means that it should now go into the trash. But very important is to smell and look at your fruit and veg and taste it to see if it's good or bad. And this would prevent a lot of unnecessary food waste. Don't be afraid of ugly food. Actually, a brown or yellow banana like this can be more tasty and have better nutritional values than the green bananas and the hard tomatoes you get in the store. I'm often surprised by the. The wave. Every year in Norway, we actually waste 380,000 tons of food each year. We also import 682,000 tons of protein-rich feed, or 137 kilos of soybeans and protein-rich feed like this for each Norwegian. In perspective, each Norwegian consumes 60 kilos of meat each year. In addition, 15% of this is imported from other countries. So actually, a more accurate number of our consumption of meat in Norway would be 51 kilos. That means we are throwing away 86 kilos per person of fully eatable proteins in production. Most of the protein-rich feed that has been imported and given to the animals are soybeans, and they're really tasty. You can see some of them here. From what used to be beautiful, lush rainforest land in Brazil. Okay. So we are keeping animals in darkness their whole lives, feeding them food grown on land that is being destroyed, transported from the other side of the world to Norway. Then we are killing the animals and throwing 1/3 of them into the garbage. It doesn't get more wasteful and sinister than that. My friend, she's shown me a world I never imagined. I had heard about stores throwing away bad food, but I could never believe it was so much good food. It was in many instances better than the food that you can find in the store. Ripened bananas, tastier tomatoes, and to my surprise, I even found lots of soy milk and free, extra virgin olive oil. It was awesome. But at the same time, I was incredibly sad at the thought of 1 billion people starving in the world, while we in the Western world are just throwing away huge amounts of food. This is to me real evil. Then I heard about this Food Not Bombs movement, because we had a lot of food, and we didn't know what to do with. So this is an all-volunteer movement that recovers food that would otherwise be discarded, and it shares free vegan and vegetarian food in over 1,000 cities around the world. It's a protest against war, poverty, and the destruction of the environment. This movement inspired me a lot. So me and some friends started a People's Kitchen in 2009 in Uffa. The People's Kitchen is like a Food Not Bombs, a counter-reaction to the wasteful society we live in. We wish for people to be connected to the food that they eat. We also strive to create an inclusive environment where everyone is welcome, young and old, poor and rich alike, and it's all free. In 2010, we moved to Svartlamoen at the Info Café. It's a very nice venue. Things started really picking up when we got some deals with the stores. Our first deal was made by some people from the People's Kitchen dumpstering. And out from the store came the manager. He was like, "Oh, you poor souls. Don't you want to have a deal instead?" So after that, we were really enthusiastic and started asking many more stores. Most of them said no, but some of them said yeah, and many of them were waiting for us to ask for it. In the end, we had too many stores. Now we're like, should we get from all 4 stores? Should we get what? And then, okay. And finally, in 2013, we now have deals with 4 stores. We have started with more meetings and regular consensus-based leaderless organizations. Before, we had no organization at all, so it was kind of Tobias' kitchen or someone else's kitchen one day, and then it was just random. But now we have an actual meeting each time. So this makes the kitchen self-sustaining. Everyone learns to do the things that the other knows, and we teach each other how. So if one person is gone, then the kitchen can keep on going. It's very organic. Many students, immigrants, vegans, and locals from Trondheim have been participating in what is now a young people's kitchen, with many active people from all walks of life and different parts of the world. I have met so many interesting people. I have learned so much, and I feel so happy and blessed to have been part of this adventure that is the People's Kitchen. People's Kitchen is also involved in direct activism to highlight the problem of food waste. This summer, we helped arrange this food feast against world hunger. This was in collaboration with many different environmental organizations. Food that was going to be thrown away was prepared and given away in the city center of Trondheim, when we asked people to donate money to Syrian refugees if they wanted. And just last weekend, we had a Back to the Roots Food Not Bombs arrangement in the center of Trondheim, where food was handed out to everyone. People came and learned about the People's Kitchen. So it's like growing organically. More people are getting aware of the unsustainable food system, production system, and there have been started many different groups in Trondheim working with the problematics of unsustainable food production. One of them is Arne, the wonderful dumpster fridge. I love Arne, he's nice. He's in NTNU, okay. There's a farming cooperative also called Medalhus Andelslandbruk. Okay, it's like you buy a share of it, and then you get a share of the bounty. Everyone grows the food that you decide together in a consensus thing. It's ecological, and it's like a farmer who rents out his farm. Okay, it's a long story. Yeah, thank you for moving me along there. I was going to start talking about something. There's also a testing farm near Brøset, where everyone is free to grow whatever they want. And it's awesome, and it's free. And here's me with some of my plant friends walking around happily in the sunset. Okay, next. And here are some potatoes from the farm. These were awesome, tasty. I'm gonna make salad again. Okay. No more slides? Okay. There's a growing number of people who have started growing food in what they call a permaculture gardens. This is a way to grow food in a self-sustaining way, like how it grows in the forest. It's so simple. Why don't we do it all the time? This means no pesticides or artificial things we need. And after a permaculture garden has been set up, minimal maintenance as well. Just initial careful planning, and it will provide in abundance. This is a picture from a permaculture workshop the People's Kitchen attended at Stephen Barstow's place. He actually has the world record in salad. He made a salad with 1,500 different things from his garden. I love this guy. This is awesome. Okay. It was so wonderful to be here and learn about all the things you can grow so far north. This is the first year I have been interested in actually growing my own food. And it has been a success. I have this awesome tomato plant. It's like 2.5 meters tall. It's like this in my living room. And she now has 30 tomatoes ripening. So I should hurry back and water her? I don't remember. I didn't water her. Okay. But what I came here to say, I think it's time we reconnect with our food. We need to start up more local community-based initiatives where we get together and make food in an informal way and share time like that. And inclusive. Everyone should also visit a farmer, find out how your food is made, read the labels, make your own food from scratch and get involved. There's dirt everywhere just waiting for you to plant a seed and have some fun in the summer. Go into the forest, pick mushrooms, blueberries. Go further down on my notes. Also, we should get to know basic food conservation. Okay, when food gets a little ugly or past its prime, you know grandmothers know how to preserve it. They have learned the wisdom from their grandmothers. We should tap into that wisdom. We should pickle, make jam, ferment. All of these methods can even enhance the nutritional aspects of food, as well as prolonging the time you can store it. It's time for us all to visit our grandmothers. Thank you.